Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the zoo. The minions with me this evening, at least thus far, are Camel.
Hello.
And Inquisitor.
Hello.
How are both of you doing tonight?
I am doing all right. Have you ever had so much gas in your system that you go and you sit on the toilet and you fart, but then you blast shit out of your ass like a goddamn potato gun because you have so much gas behind it?
Good to see that we're starting extremely classy.
Yes.
Also, I realized that I forgot my normal intro because it's been so long since I've been able to keep her. And of course, I'm the keeper for this evening, Sanguine. Now, let's continue on with the conversation.
Yes. I mean, I've been having to deal with that all day today, man. I've been so fucking gassy for some reason.
So you went to Taco Bell sometime in the last 24 hours?
No, we didn't go to Taco Bell at all. It's the weird thing, man. I've been having a lot more onions in my diet than I normally have, but I didn't figure that would be a major cause.
Well, it depends on how the onions are done. Some people go gaseous if they aren't cooked off enough.
Yeah, well, these are usually not cooked at all. We had Zelthor, Mr. Zelthor, came to visit the Chicagoland area. Sanguine knows because he was able to see him at the Ren Fair. Which, by the way, Zelthor had nothing but praise to give you. He was quite happy to meet you. Him and I. He and I were just palling around for a whole week. And one of the things that happened is I took him to a local Greek place. And he had a euro for the first time. He'd never had a euro before.
Wait, the boy has never had a euro?
Never had a euro. So yeah, I got him to this first of all, we've got this
living a deprived life.
Yeah, we've got this local greasy spoon right around the corner from our apartment. And so I'm like, "Oh man, you want the best euros, you got to go for a place like this." And I bring him there. He had a euro and he said it was one of the best things he'd ever had in his life, and he insisted before I took him to the airport today that he wanted another one.
Nice.
So yeah, good for him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was some of the things I had to deal with. I went and had 2 euros in a week. That's
euros are delicious.
More than I've ever had before. Oh, they are. They're absolutely delicious. But
especially with a lot of really good tzatziki.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, the one, because we actually got the first ones to go, and they put it on the pita bread, right? Yep. But the ones that you get when you go into the restaurant and you eat, instead of getting it to go, they put it on top of the lamb meat and the onions.
Yep.
And they give you so much more.
Yep.
And it's so good. That's seriously some of the major draw. Number one, lamb meat. Lamb meat is always delicious. I don't give a fuck who you are. Lamb meat is awesome. And then second, it's the fact that they put all that tzatziki sauce on the top. It's so good. Just those two combinations. I can take or leave the onions. It's really just the meat and the tzatziki sauce that I want. And of course the tomatoes. I don't like tomatoes. I don't like raw tomatoes.
Oh yeah, tomatoes are a no-go for me.
Yeah, I like everything made with tomatoes, but I don't like raw tomatoes.
Yeah, I'll eat tomato sauces.
Sure.
I enjoy shit like that, but if it's a hunk of tomato, it is off-putting for me.
And it's funny too.
Hunks of tomato.
We went to this local microbrewery and restaurant on Thursday before we all met up with Eve, because Eve was in town as well. We have bunch of pictures, which is also another thing. I was going to get my other laptop out here in a little bit and start bringing down some of the pictures from our trips. And what I was planning on doing is giving you, Eve, Zelthor, Adam, and Weibo all links to it, and I'll just upload it to Google Drive.
Oh, very nice.
So that way everyone can grab whatever pictures they want.
Yep.
And I'll also like disseminate it, so it's going to be like one's going to be just up in Door County, and then the other one's going to be like everything else. So like the Ren Fair and like everything.
Just burnt the shit out of my mouth, but it was delicious. I just finished roasting up some potatoes.
Oh,
for dinner. Toss them in a mixture of that mustard that we got at the cheese place.
Yeah.
And just a bit of butter.
Ooh.
But they're fresh from a 400-degree oven.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you this much. Zelthor and I cracked open the cherry butter that I got from that cheese place.
Yep.
And he and I just spread it on a piece of toast. Like I toasted up, slices of bread. Oh my God, it's so good. It is so good.
Shit like that's always amazing. And I'm having a little bit of the blue cheddar that I got there with my dinner tonight as well.
Nice.
Because I just went, okay, I was about to say I went really simple, and then I started thinking about what I was about to describe, and people would get upset with me for saying, it was simple. Really simple. Because what I went for is a couple ground pork patties that were just lightly salted. Then I did a mushroom, onion, white wine cream sauce over top of those. Then the roast potatoes tossed in that mustard and butter. And now just cutting off a little bit of that blue cheddar to serve on the side. And I'll probably grab a little bit of my German dark wheat bread to eat with it as well.
Nice.
Should be really damn good. Like I said, this is simple for me, but yeah. Once I started thinking through explaining this, I was willing to bet someone was going to make a crack of that's not simple.
Yeah, probably me.
Yep.
I say the one thing I'm not cracked into yet at all, because it's going to need like a special occurrence sort of thing, a special occasion, is that cherry moonshine. I'm not cracked into it yet. But when I do, oh man, 50% alcohol by volume.
I was more than willing to crack into it with you, but no.
I know. Well, I didn't want to, leave Zelthor out on it because he's not gonna try something with that alcoholic. Plus, I didn't want to get fucking shit faced right before having to drive in fucking Wisconsin to go to the Ren Fair.
True. But yeah, it was a fun trip.
Oh, it was great. I had so much fun. It was amazing. I would love to get more people to go. Next year we can maybe try to plan for something. Zelthor is all for wanting to come back next year again. He didn't get to experience a whole all of the things that I kept on touting. Like one of the things that I wanted to have him try is I wanted to have him try first of all Chicago style hot dog, and then second a Chicago style deep dish. Instead, we got Rosati's, which is a local brand, and it's really, really fucking good. So he still got pizza, just not a Chicago deep dish style pizza. And then
he didn't get to try the bread bowl soup.
Yeah, the lasagna. Yeah. I say Stamper TV once mentioned, I believe on a Sleepy Cast, that the Chicago style deep dish is more akin to lasagna than pizza. And you know what? He's right. I'm not going to fault him on that. It's good, but it's more like a lasagna than a pizza. But the funny thing is that I remember not too long ago, someone was losing their absolute shit on either TikTok or fucking Twitter, asking, with the Chicago style deep dish, where's the cheese? Where's the cheese? Man, where's the cheese? Under the sauce. You fucking idiot. Just because it's not oriented in the same way that you think of when you think of pizza does not mean that there's not fucking cheese on it. In fact, actually, there's a lot of cheese on it. All right.
Yeah, the cheese serves as the moisture barrier to keep the dough from getting completely soaked through by the sauce.
Yes, that is exactly it.
But if we're able to get more people, especially if we're able to get enough people and we're able to either get Eve and them in on it so that we can grab that big ass tent.
Yeah.
One of us carry the big ass tent, have a few of us carry coolers full of food. Mm-hmm. Oh, I can make sure that we eat like fucking kings the entire time that we're camping.
Dude, we gotta like start planning in the wintertime is the major thing. But if we can like start planning in the wintertime for somewhere like if we want to do it again in around August, and then let people know to request those days off for work and stuff like that, then I can even probably get us that group campsite.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be amazing. It would be great.
And like I said, all we need is enough people with large enough tents that we consolidate how many of us carry tents so the rest of us just carry food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll say I have no problem consolidating all my food down to, just like whatever we're carrying in a fucking cooler. Because then, like, my travel bag is going to get even lighter, and then I can just carry one of the coolers with someone. 2 men carry a fucking cooler full of food.
Yep. And
see, that's the thing. Like when I was planning like this whole trip, I wasn't even planning on doing that much fresh cooking. And then Sanguine just like I kept on calling him a wizard of the campsite, campsite cooking, because he was able to just throw something together and it was fucking tasty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you and Adam were both really surprised by the camp stew.
Yeah, I was. Well, mainly because like the broth, like I knew the broth was going to be good because you know how to do it proper. It's just that like I was thinking about all the things to add to it. I was skeptical about the mushrooms. I'm no longer skeptical about mushrooms cooked by you. I'm skeptical about mushrooms cooked by literally everyone else but you, because it seems like every single other person it comes out horrible. You're the only person who's ever made mushrooms that I have found palatable.
And like I said, it's the thing that pisses me off the most whenever I look at a cooking show or I look at a recipe to go, oh, I wonder what's the general technique of this. If it includes mushrooms, they add the mushrooms way too fucking late.
Yeah, they're like the last thing that they add.
Yeah, they'll add them halfway through cooking, and I'm going, no, now you just have wet as shit mushrooms fucking everything up. You need to cook those little bastards down, get that amazing taste, and oh, fuck yes.
Yeah, it's like the way that most people add mushrooms like to something is they just add them as an afterthought, and that's not the good way to eat mushrooms, and especially it's not going to change anyone's mind about mushrooms because it's the exact texture that everyone fucking hates about mushrooms when you do it that way.
Yeah, what you do, and I'll stress this again to all that can hear. When you're cooking mushrooms, you start in a completely dry or extremely lightly oiled pan. You throw your mushrooms in, you throw in a pinch of salt, you let them start to release that water, let them start to get a little bit of color. Then once they've released the water, once they've gotten some of that color, then you're able to toss in the rest of your ingredients, and you won't fuck it up.
Wow. I'm sorry, you guys are talking about food, and I tuned out.
I figured as much.
Well, you don't like eating? No?
I do like eating, but
he just gets annoyed that he's not eating the food that's being described.
Nah.
Yeah. See, I would
happy place.
I would get along famously with Sanguine's dad, so.
Oh, he's perfectly fine with
we
horrible
share a
manufactured
particular
pizza.
style of palate. So
horrible
that
manufactured
impresses
pizza.
me. And Camel, if I ever hear that you decide that a really good meal is a tin of chicken of the sea tuna with fucking bacos and mayo. What the fuck?
Now, see, bacos were breaking my teeth when I was a kid. I'm not risking that now that I'm old man camel. So
yeah, bacos are petroleum byproducts. They aren't food.
And you got to throw some mustard on that chicken of the sea, man, as well. You can't just have mayo.
It was chicken of the sea, bacos, and mayo.
Yeah. Subtract the bacos, add some mustard, and we're in business.
That's gross. That's fucking gross.
If you're going for tinned fish, you can do tinned fish and make it taste good. You just need to know how.
But no, I was scrolling through the Twitters while you were talking about your culinary stuff there. So apparently, I'm blocked by Keffels. I don't know why. I've never interacted with Keffels.
I have no idea who that is.
Okay, so do you want to explain Keffels or shall I?
I mean, if I do it, it'll be a shorter summation. Go ahead.
Go for it. Oh. So, Keffels is a trans Twitch streamer that makes a habit of advocating that people smuggle HRT drugs to children that are much younger than should be taking them, that don't have a diagnosis but just feel like they might be trans. And
now, see, I don't know if I know that Keffels had set up some kind of a do it yourself kind of deal.
Yep. She
but
put out
I don't know
on how to make your own meds.
Yeah. Keffels they had the whole DIY, whereas I think the other one's it was Eli Ehrlich or something like that, is actually shipping them in the mail.
Oh no, both of them are doing that.
Oh, okay. So I
Keffels was advocating for the DIY meds, as well as her and the other one that you just mentioned were setting up a group that.
Oh, I didn't realize Keffels was involved in that.
Surplus meds, and
I thought she was just teaching kids how to make bathtub hormones.
Oh, no,
is this an artist?
This is a Twitch streamer from Ontario.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just checking on Twitter. Keffels at Keffels, Keffles.
Keffals.
Yeah.
Oh.
The one that you did is the VTuber artist, I want to say, right?
No, it's just an artist.
Oh, just an artist? Okay. There's another one that has a very similar name that does a lot of VTuber fan art.
I'm not blocked by Keffels.
Well, it's probably because you've been, on a sabbatical from Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never interacted with them. I guess somebody I follow ruffled their feathers and got the block bot. But so I had to go incognito to see what's going on here with Nick Rekieta, because apparently Rekieta and Keffels got beef now.
Oh.
Yeah, and I see something about Rekieta here.
Apparently, Rekieta mentioned Keffels on a stream talking about, all that stuff that Sang was mentioning.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
the illegality of it.
Yeah. Well, Keffels has absconded to Europe, because of. Now, does that actually count? I've heard people describe it as a swatting. And
so it was a swatting because it wasn't over the actually illegal shit that she had done. The police were called for claims that she was attacking people, physically attacking people, and was in possession of a firearm, I believe, which
in Canada is a big no-no now.
That's a swatting, yeah.
So that was a swatting, which that's the part that pisses me off, because there's a lot of reasons that Keffels should get a police knocking on her door. namely here's how you make illicit substances.
Yeah.
And I say illicit substances because they're misusing prescription meds. That makes it illicit.
Well, to go back a little bit, Quiz. The first time I heard about Keffels was a few months back. Apparently, on Twitter, they like to ratio people. That's showing how I guess they're more influential and therefore righter than whoever they're ratioing.
Yep.
But Keffels has gotten into a beef with Kiwi Farms because
I see that too. Yeah.
Claiming, I guess, that Kiwi Farms is the reason why this why she got doxxed and swatted. So trying to get Kiwi Farms deplatformed from their hosting service.
And she wouldn't be the only one to have tried that.
Apparently, there have been several DDoS attacks on the farms in the past, I don't know, week or so. But there had a bit of a quote tweeting back and forth with Medicare as well, threatening Jim's friend's Twitter account, saying that ban evasion. And now it's trying to get Nick Rekieta disbarred.
Well, good luck with that. I don't think that's going to happen.
An almost 500,000 subscriber YouTuber, Rekieta Law, said on his stream live that I should be lined up against a wall and shot. Incredibly unnerving that people with large platforms can say things like this about transgender people without any repercussions. The best part is they quote tweeted a clip from one of Rekieta's streams where, and they put it in quotation marks. I should be lined up against a wall and shot. He didn't say that. He said pretty much, to sum it up, in the 50-second clip from I don't know when the stream was, that if you can't pump your brakes and let these kids turn 18 and therefore be legal adults before they start making these kind of life-altering decisions, you should go lay in front of a steamroller.
I agree with that. And
then the next one down is some retweeting somebody else who posted Rekieta's details from the Minnesota Judicial Branch, saying explicit calls for murdering people like this would be a violation of the attorney ethical rules. He is barred in Minnesota. You can file a formal complaint here. And Keffels went on to say, it's like, yeah, I'm going to do that when I wake up in the morning, and I would ask anybody who has the time to fill this out as well. So they're gonna try and gum up the works with the Minnesota Bar Association.
As if someone hasn't tried this with Nick Rekieta once before. I explicitly remember when he was oh my god, what was the case? He was talking about one before where someone got all butthurt and was all like, here's how you try to disbar him.
What was it, the Vic Menomina case?
Oh, the Vic Menomina. Yeah, probably, yeah. Vic Menomina. do.
Phenomenal.
I've heard the proper way to say his name before, but I can't remember it. So I don't ever talk about that dude enough. Yeah. I don't ever talk about him enough to actually get his name right.
I will be right back.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean,
every time I hear that, it just
I miss the days when drug dealers were just trying to get you to do coke, and now they're pushing estrogen. What's up with that? What's up, Talek? How's it going, K-Shaw? Cryptic
again,
here.
One of the things that pisses me off the most about we should just be allowed to do this, and is when they start saying that they shouldn't have to tell a healthcare professional what their birth sex was. Because I've talked about this before on stream.
So, okay, ma'am, enjoy your prostate cancer,
Do you know the most common symptom for heart attack? Or most common symptoms?
Well, I used to always think it was like, pain in the left arm.
Yep,
and then
pain
I heard
or numbness in the left arm.
But then I heard like Kevin Smith talking about his heart attack, and he was just saying he felt like a little like indigestion.
So the most common symptoms, the ones that everyone's told to look out for, are pain and numbness in the left arm, feeling like an elephant sitting upon your chest, and sometimes you'll end up with abdominal discomfort.
Oh man! See now every time I wake up, with a smoker's cough, and a numb arm from laying on it the wrong way, and indigestion from eating Taco Bell, like for fourth meal. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, oh shit, I'm having a heart attack now.
But those are the most common symptoms. Do you know why those are the most common symptoms?
Not off the top of my head, but like I said, 23 hours.
Because almost every single male that has a heart attack gets those symptoms. And about a third of women that have heart attacks get those symptoms. You might notice I said a third of women and almost every male. Do you know what one of the most common symptoms for a woman having a heart attack is? Stiffness in their neck. So if you are a trans man, so someone who was born a woman has transitioned to be a man, and you don't let your doc know that you are a trans man, when you go into the doc complaining about stiffness in your neck, they're going to go, okay, for a man that is normally trauma, let's see if it's a trauma injury. If it's not trauma, then they will waterfall down the symptoms in the most severe and most common first, going down the line until they get to the least severe and least common. This entire time, you might be having a heart attack. You need to be treated for heart attacks quickly. So that will literally fucking kill someone at some point.
Well, like I said before, we got started talking about heart attacks. Like, oh, you don't want to tell me your birth sex? Well, enjoy your prostate cancer, ma'am.
And also, there's certain things that can be hidden by the HRT. Because do you know what sort of man typically pops for high estrogen?
Breast cancer?
Testicular cancer.
Oh, testicular cancer. Okay.
Testicular cancer in men normally presents with high estrogen levels. It's important to know that, and it's important to be able to express this and know the risks involved. The people saying, well, there's absolutely no risk. Bullshit. There's risks to fucking everything. If a medicine goes in you, there's a risk to it. Now, the risk is normally far less of a worry than the reward that you get from it. But there's always a risk. Even getting saline solution, there's a risk. Because every time that your skin is broken, by that I mean a needle goes into you, there's a chance that you're going to toss a clot. Every single time. Every single time that your immune system is cycled up, there's a very small chance, and the clot is a very small chance, there's also a very small chance, anytime that your immune system gets cycled up, that you'll end up proccing an autoimmune. Very, very small, but it's important to know that. But you keep on hearing people say, there's absolutely no risk for this. Horse shit. There's always a risk. You just need to know what the risk is.
I got a couple other things unrelated to the topic we could talk about.
Go for it.
Well, first thing is local news here in Oklahoma. Apparently, Walmart is pushing or planning to push for liquor sales in big box stores in Oklahoma.
Nice.
I don't know about that, man.
You don't want liquor sold at your big box?
I mean, they're already selling beer and wine and stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. I just feel like there's, you know, that's one more thing that Walmart doesn't need to be involved in, you know. Make people go to their liquor store to get their liquor.
See, I want everywhere that wants to be able to sell liquor to be able to sell liquor. There should be liquor stores.
Well,
there should be, if a gas station wants to be able to sell liquor, a gas station should be able to sell liquor, in my opinion.
I can understand that logic and I respect it, but I live in an area where like Walmart is pretty much the only game in town for a whole bunch of different stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I would like to not see, you know, one more thing be gobbled up by them to where, you know, like we've got a couple of liquor stores. I mean, not, you know, I think it's maybe 2 or 3.
And probably to know is Oklahoma ABC or liquor stores?
We have liquor stores.
Okay.
It's not state run or anything like that.
Liquor stores are superior to ABC. And like I said, my ideal setup is I want there to be liquor stores. I also want other places to be able to sell it.
I mean, if the economic, you know, reality here was more robust, okay, maybe. But like I said, you know, Walmart is pretty much the only game in town for a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm. The thing is that Walmart selling liquor means that they would sell basic liquor.
Yeah.
You'd always still get a better selection at a liquor store.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, but that's of course assuming that you are, you know, a discerning alcoholic.
I mean, so if you're a discerning alcoholic, you have to deal less with the sloppy bastards taking up time at the counter.
Yeah, but those sloppy bastards' money spends just as well, you know. True. So the liquor stores they're gonna be losing money out of that deal. But no, the other thing I saw was where'd it go? Did you guys see that libertarians was trending today?
No.
Of
course not for me.
What about you, Sanguine? Did you see that?
Say again?
Libertarians was trending today.
I did not.
So you wouldn't happen to know why. I believe it was the New Hampshire Libertarian Party posted a picture of Meghan McCain crying over her father's casket.
And there's product placement with her book.
No.
On the headstone. I heard about that.
Exactly. Let me see. I have to pull up there.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Absolutely coolish when she did that. Yeah.
Yeah, when she posed with her book on her dad's headstone. Yeah.
Let me pull it back up here. Oh no. Wait, did he die on August 25th?
I don't remember when he died.
Because they posted that picture and it just said "Happy Holidays."
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking vicious.
I am no fan of John McCain or his daughter.
Yeah.
But that just like, okay, you guys are supposed to be a political party, which means you should have, and I hate to use this word because of fucking vouch, but you should have some understanding of optics.
I would phrase it more as decorum.
I would phrase it as principles.
Well, those would be good words to use too. But I'm talking about purely political. You're trying to get people to vote libertarian, and Sanguine, did you say ghoulish? Because I think that's a pretty good descriptor here. So, I mean, again, not a fan of either one of them. I mean, I was moderately a fan of Harak back in the day, but aside from that, not a fan of either one of them. So, but yeah, that's just, I mean,
McCain did some good shit. McCain did some horrendous shit. He was a person, and the biggest problem that I had with him was he stuck around longer than he should have. I don't mean he should have died earlier.
Yeah, he was out of office for how long with that brain tumor before it finally got him, and
yeah, he should have stepped down from office when his mental state started to decline, which everyone in office should step down when their mental state is declining.
Yeah. But
that is fucked that they did that.
Yeah, I just, like I said.
Also, I'm curious because this is something that I keep noticing, and it keeps on pissing me off. The number of people that I saw when bin Laden was killed say no one should celebrate the death of another person, and then the moment that someone that was an American that they disagreed with died, they started fucking celebrating.
I can understand the whole, don't dance on the graves of dead people, but it was Osama bin Laden. Fuck him.
And
there's just some people that, yeah. Yeah, it's really just the fact that like when some of these people, sit there and say that it's plain to see what principles they hold and which ones they don't. Yeah, because when they sit there and say that, and then they, and then they say, oh, John McCain died. Wah,
yeah.
And you can't fucking celebrate Osama bin Laden's death. Osama bin Laden killed like was it 5,000 something people, or at least he signed the order to do so.
Let's see. You had was it just under 3,000 for 9/11?
Really? I thought it was around 6.
No. Over. It was just over 3,000?
I think it was just over.
Are we also counting all of the first responders that died from the dust inhalation and stuff?
We're talking died that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was
I don't know if he planned on, firefighters dying 20 years later from, breathing asbestos or anything. Mm-hmm. But, just count the 9/11 attacks. Then you've got the USS Cole. You've got the embassy bombings in Kenya. And where's the other one at? Because there's two of them. There's one in, was it Nairobi? And the other one, 996 assassin says for 9/11.
Okay, it was just under them. My mistake. It must be a bit over when you include the first responders.
And then wasn't Al Qaeda?
The number I hear is 3,000 something.
Wasn't Al Qaeda also like the 7/7 attack in was that London? But yeah, definitely thousands of people directly, on his orders, and then indirectly from, what followed.
Sure.
So yeah, fuck him.
So fuck that guy. Yeah.
Oh, 7/7 was Madrid. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. So we should not be giving him any allowances for human empathy when he was a monster. Fuck him.
Yeah. The same kind of person that will describe a terrorist as a austere religious scholar in his obituary. It's the same kind of person that will tap dance on a fucking Republican's grave.
Oh yeah.
And
and those are the people that pissed me off, because it'd be one thing if someone said you shouldn't celebrate the death of another, and then when their political opposition died, they were still saying you shouldn't celebrate the death of another.
I think that you shouldn't celebrate the death of another at all, but I don't think that I don't count Osama bin Laden as human.
I was
I
gonna say,
think
it's
he's
like there's
subhuman scum. Fuck that guy.
there are plenty of shitbags in the world that I'm not gonna dance a jig when they shuffle off this moral coil, but I'm not gonna shed any tears either.
Yeah, that's my whole
I'll
thing.
be the asshole. I'll say that there are people that I would absolutely celebrate hearing that they died.
Mm-hmm.
They're legitimately fucked people.
Dick
It's
Cheney.
not people that I'm going, well, I disagree with them politically. Like, when Nancy Pelosi dies, I'm not going to be going, woo, Nancy Pelosi fucking kicked the bucket. I'll be going, yeah, she died. Good that she's not in office anymore. I feel sorry for her family.
Same with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, yeah.
Yeah.
I can name a few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are plenty of
I'm not
shitbags in
going
this
to
world.
pretend that I won't celebrate the death of people, because there are certain people that need killing. And when they get dead, I'm going to celebrate it.
Yeah, like Dick Cheney's definitely on my list of like, yeah, fuck him. I'll celebrate when he, finally croaks. Because I've been calling him a war criminal since 2006.
Yeah.
And ask Terry. Like anytime he gets brought up, it's like, yeah, fuck that war criminal.
I agree.
Yeah, Charles Manson didn't break my heart. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, who the fuck cared about Charles Manson when he finally died?
Timothy McVeigh, pretty fucking happy when he got the hot shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not a hard and fast rule on the not celebrating people's deaths, but I mean, shit,
I think it all comes down to the level of severity of the kind of person that they were. If they were an absolute shitbag, then yeah, no, fuck them. But if it's just like I disagreed with you, why are you like overblowing that up to sit there and say I'm gonna dance on your grave? Wee! I just see that just shows how much of a fucking petty dickhead you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just pisses me off because there were so many fucking people that when Bin Laden was finally got were trying to morally grandstand. I think it's disgusting. People are celebrating that someone died. And then those same fuckers, when someone
the only thing I found disgusting,
that's a fellow citizen died, immediately start celebrating. Fuck you.
The only thing that I regret that I have about Osama bin Laden dying is that they didn't fucking put his ass on a pillory, like with the corpse on a pillory, so you could throw tomatoes at it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I found disgusting about the news of his death was when it came out later. Like he had a bunch of porn, and it's like, how is it that he, a Islamic fundamentalist, has more porn than me, a red-blooded American male? Like this,
so
this
you
needs
went
to be
out
rectified.
and immediately rectified that, and
I did. I helped to stimulate the local economy by going to the local sex shop and buying as many DVDs and magazines as I could afford on that paycheck. I saluted the American flag on my way out the door.
To be fair, my friend, all porn right now is digital. It's all saved in the cloud. You don't need to buy any.
No, see, you got to have redundancies, Quiz. Right? What if the internet goes down?
Also, I find it ironic that Quiz is the one saying that with his insistence on
what happened to buying physical media, Quiz.
Well, I draw certain lines. I'm perfectly fine with having digital only media on music and porn and stuff like that because there's an intangibility. I'm not attached to the porn that I watched.
I should hope not. You've been using it way too much if you are.
I feel personally attacked.
Have you ended up accidentally gluing yourself to your porn?
I mean, there may have been a few pages that got stuck together back in the day. I'm not saying, one way or the other.
No. That would be your porn physically attached to your porn. We're talking you physically attached to your porn.
There may have been a period of time between like junior high and high school where I was very much like Gollum.
Just you were interested in an entirely different sort of ring.
Well, I mean, they did play was it Lord of the Cock Rings a bunch on Skinamax back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
That is the closest I've ever come to seeing the
oh, God damn it.
Tolkien universe.
What the fuck, Discord? I'm trying to send you a relevant picture there, Hate.
Nice.
Oh boy. Is this going to be anything like the NCIS Photoshop you sent me?
No, not quite. I just think it's kind of relevant to the discussion at hand.
Oh God.
And yeah, Assassin's right. Pretty much all of the ones that are going for the...
You mean hardline religious extremists are hypocrites?
Death during jihad, yeah, all of them end up having a reason why they are opting for that way of going to
there you go,
paradise over others.
Assassin is shaking my worldview to the core right now.
That's what I just sent to Camel there, Sanguine.
Nice. Let me quickly open this up in a window. Copy that over from this browser into this browser.
Oh, Takanashi Kiara, the original song, "You Little Shit."
Yep. Oh, you didn't see that she came out with a new song?
No, it was 10 days ago. I didn't see it.
Yeah, another VTuber.
Oh.
But the name of the song is "You Little Shit."
Yep. And there we go. Just so that everyone gets to see the image that Inquisitor found.
Rotten hell, you son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's hilarious, like, you know, now that it's been like over 20 years since the attacks and over 10 years since they killed him.
Mm-hmm.
You hear about, like, different of his relatives, you know, of course there's so many of those fuckers. But, like, he had that one niece who was a Trump supporter.
Yep.
And then, so was it one of his sons or like nephews? You know, some male relation, younger dude.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a story about him a few weeks back on Twitter. He was trying to do something, I guess, to, you know, make up for, you know, being related to that shitbag.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, you've got your work cut out for you, sir. Yeah, good luck. You know, Godspeed.
Yeah, you're not doing yourself any favors to acknowledge that.
I'm trying to remember, there were 3 relations of Hitler during World War II. That one of them became a major pro-American propagandist that was just constantly doing shit about, like, yeah, take out my fucking insane uncle, kill the bastard.
Mm-hmm.
And
if only Uncle Adolf had been allowed to go to art school, none of this would have happened.
One of them changed their surname because they didn't want to deal with the Hitler name, and a third went, no, fuck that, he's not destroying our family name. Fuck him, fuck everything he stood for. I'm going to return the good standing of the Hitler name.
You got an uphill battle for you there, my friend.
I don't think you're gonna make it there, Hans.
No, probably
good luck, but you better pack a lunch, sir.
Yeah,
you're gonna be there
but
a while.
I just found it fucking hilarious reading about those 3 because they each took a very different tact on how to deal with it.
Yeah, having the Hitler name. I believe the Hitler bloodline still persists to this day.
Yep.
I know wasn't like Mussolini's granddaughter or something, like in the Italian parliament now.
Yep.
Ooh, boy, history doesn't repeat itself, but it sometimes rhymes, you know?
Yeah.
She was able to see the second impaling in the Italian parliament.
The second impaling?
Second impaling in the Italian Senate. Sorry, my mistake.
This was
Are we counting Caesar as the first? Or...
Yes.
Okay.
Lockhart as the second.
In terms of, I just put it in general, but I'll DM it to both of you. I found this in another server that I thought was absolutely hilarious.
Let me pull it up. Damn.
Makes you think. Now done it.
Damn.
I mean, I don't have Jack's phrenologist on speed dial, but I'm willing to bet you that's a criminal head shape.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And if the skull doesn't tell you, the lightning bolt neck tattoo might.
Let me share this with everyone else again.
I'm just saying, you know, the modern day neo-Nazis, probably not the people who the Nazis would have liked. Not that any of their opinions actually fucking matter, but you know.
There was only one neo-Nazi's opinion who I would actually have taken. That was Derek Vineyard.
I have no idea who that is.
You've never seen American History X?
Oh, okay, American History X. Okay, never mind. Now that when I said it, I was all like, "Wait a minute, that name does sound familiar."
He was reformed.
Yes.
You
he only
see
just curb
this?
The man.
It means not welcome.
You like to shoot at firemen?
The Untermensch. Subhuman in Nazi propaganda. Modern day neo-Nazi. Gets the noggin jogging on that one now, done it?
To quote Arsenio. Really, things that make you go,
It makes you see that the neo-Nazis and the modern communists both kind of ascribe to bio-Leninism.
Oh, speaking of communism was trending as well. Was that today or was that yesterday? It's all kind of blending together. Whenever Black Ribbon Day was, apparently, I'm sure Prosper or Assassin, somebody will give me the exact. But yeah, they were comparing. There was a meme floating around. It's like it had like a Nazi on the left side and a commie on the right, and it said, on the Nazi side, it's like, started the Holocaust, and then on the commie side, ended the Holocaust. I was like, yeah, but what happened in between there?
I was gonna say, what about all the Bolsheviks and all of the farmers that didn't toe the line for Lenin, and all the people that died in Stalingrad, and all of the people?
Yeah,
go on.
I talked about this yesterday on stream, and I'll mention it again. It pisses me off, the number of people that say, well, the USSR really carried the rest of the Allies to victory.
August 23rd. Okay, so that was a couple days ago.
Bitch, they lost against Finland.
Also,
horribly.
Also, I talked about this yesterday. Do you know the extent that we did Lend-Lease to the fucking communists?
And then we wrote their shit off early that they owed, whereas the UK just finally finished paying, a couple years ago?
Yeah, we just gave up requesting
just wrote it off.
What we gave to the Soviets. But do you know how much fucking shit we gave to the Soviets, Inquisitor?
Entirely too much.
Is the order of
300 million tons of food.
I was gonna say it was in the neighborhood of was it hundreds of billions back in the 40s?
Yeah, it's an absolutely obscene amount of money that we sent when the mechanized unit offensive happened in the Eastern Front. Really, the turning point of the war in the East. A large chunk of the Soviet tanks were actually American tanks.
I'm not shocked by that.
When you look at the rail system within the Soviet Union during the war. I think it was 98. There was some ridiculous percentage was American-made rail lines.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to think of all the sabotage that was going on too. I mean, the way that you cripple a country is to cripple its infrastructure. If you can't get food moving from place to place, especially mass amounts, then yeah, it's going to cripple your ability to fight.
Yep, and it was just an absolutely ridiculous effort to keep Russia in the war. And now we have ignorant fucks say, well, Russia really won the war. No, they didn't. They would have starved to death if not for America going.
Let's say America won the goddamn war, and everyone fucking knows it.
Yeah. America won the war by direct military action, but also by keeping everyone else in the war well past when they would have been able to continue fighting had it not been for America. Russia would have starved to death within the first year or so of the war.
Britain would have eventually been bombed off the planet.
Yep.
I just like the... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
England would have been bombed to shit because a good chunk of their air defenses ended up being sent to them by America.
Mm-hmm.
A good chunk of their food supplies got sent by America. We kept everyone else in the goddamn war. Mm-hmm. And then we joined in and we kicked the shit out of people the moment we joined in.
I say it's all because, and just think about it this way too, how the tables have turned. The reason why America got into the war in the first place, Chinese oil.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and yeah, Prospero, absolutely. The English, they have to be given a tip of the hat because they did hold.
Well, I'm not saying that the British didn't contribute and contribute a lot. They were definitely on the front lines, literally and figuratively, of the war the entire time.
Yep.
But, in terms of like who actually won the war, it was fucking America.
Yeah.
Well, I just like whenever they bring up like look how many Russians died in the war. They took the most casualties of.
Yes, because they all froze to death in the horrible fucking Russian winter. They also killed the Nazis too.
I was gonna say, it's like, okay, congratulations, you had better bullet sponges. We had General Patton. We didn't want to die for our country. We wanted to kill the other guy.
Also, how many of those war deaths were at a 45-degree angle from behind?
Yeah.
Yeah, not one step back. Right. So.
Well, I mean, weren't there stories of Russian decimations for insubordinance during World War II?
Yeah, entire fucking units were executed.
Mm-hmm. Decimations, for those who are not quite so historically savvy, one in every 10 would survive, or is it one of every 10 was killed?
It is to reduce by 1/10. So
okay, so it's 1 in every 10 is killed.
Yep, you would have everyone line up and count to 10, and you'd pick whatever number it is. So it would be everyone who says 10 then gets killed either by someone who was not in the counting or gets killed by the other 9.
Yeah. And I say, that was a favored tactic of insubordination for the Romans.
Yeah.
Just to show how draconian that process was.
And even the Romans shied away from it more often than not. It was when something was just so ridiculously, what the fuck did this legion do?
Mm-hmm.
We need to make an example of it.
Yep.
That's when they would use decimation. Most of the time they would use much lighter punishments. But when it was severe enough, then yeah, they would have the legion count off, and then 9 of 10 people would be handed a baton.
To beat the 10th to death.
Yep, to beat the 10th person to death. The one person in that group of 10 that didn't have a baton got beat down by the rest. But it was a thing that is well documented, well known that, yeah, the Russians killed an obscene number of their own men, because if you tried to retreat, a commissar would normally find you.
Mm-hmm. Der Commissar.
If you refused an order, you would be visited by a commissar. If you just didn't fight hard enough, according to the commissar, congratulations. Please kneel. And commissar walks up behind you with a Makarov at a 45-degree angle to the back of your fucking head. It was a common goddamn thing. It's well documented that they did this throughout the entire fucking war.
And that's another thing, too. Prospero just brought up Stalin murdered competent generals. Yes, he did. Because they were underperforming because, you know, they were getting their ass handed to them by the superior Finn army, and then they were in a horrible position tactically dealing with the Germans on their western front.
Oh, and it was even worse than that, because there was one of them, and I'm trying to remember who the fuck it was. It was the one who ended up being brought out to actually win the war. He was the one who planned the mech unit offensive.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout most of the war, he was in a gulag. If I remember correctly,
I remember hearing the story about that, yeah.
So that I might be slightly incorrect. I can't remember if he had this exact punishment. I know his teeth got absolutely fucked. I think the punishment that they did for him in the gulag was they pulled his teeth so no tooth had an opposing tooth.
So it was accordion teeth, yeah.
Checkerboard teeth, yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, that's horrible. That's horrifying.
They brought him out because he was a Russian general. He became too popular. Stalin got worried that this general was so popular. So he threw him into a gulag when he was still winning shit.
Mm-hmm.
Then the betrayal happened.
That's the problem when you've got socialism, because socialism is not infallible. When people see that you're a better leader because you've done something and are successful, success is your success is appropriated and redistributed.
Yep.
Along with your teeth, apparently.
He threw this man in a gulag where he where he was brutalized throughout most of the war. And then it was when Russia was in the deepest shit, they pulled this man out, went, "You're a general now, win the fucking war," and the son of a bitch did.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a well-known thing that they killed generals that were competent. They sent generals that were competent to the gulag. They killed people left and right of their own men. The one thing that they did right was they and the rest of the Allies had the best strategy when they were dealing with, okay, we just found out that we have someone who's amazing at a job. What do we do with this person? The Allies' answer to this was pull them off the front line fucking yesterday
and get them to work on that job. Yeah.
Once they've trained people, we send everyone back up to the front. We figure out who's the best of that. Then we get that person off the front. We get them to train people, and we just rinse and repeat so that we have the best people training people to do the same shit that they were doing. Do you know what the Nazis and the Italians were doing?
To send their best men to the front, period.
Yep.
And they would die. So,
in Stalingrad, you had Vasily Zaitsev, the famous Russian sniper in Stalingrad, killed the best sniper in Nazi Germany, the second best sniper in Nazi Germany, the third best sniper in Nazi Germany, the fourth best sniper in Nazi Germany, the fifth best sniper in Nazi Germany, and the sixth best sniper in Nazi Germany. At the time of him killing each of them, they were the best sniper in Nazi Germany. Because they went, oh shit, there's a ridiculous sniper? Send our best sniper to counter-snipe. Our best sniper just died. Send our best sniper to counter-snipe. Our best sniper just died. Send our best sniper.
Now, if only Russia didn't attack Finland, we could have had that going with the white, Simo Haya against the Nazis.
Yep. But yeah, it was just absolute ridiculous bullshit that they were pulling throughout the entire war. But they were smart enough that when they had a Vasily Zaitsev, they went, okay, Vasily, get off the fucking front. Here's 2,000 snipers. Train them. And then they sent them all back up to the front. Vasily was still the best. Vasily, here's another 2,000 snipers. Train them.
Assassin brings up allegedly, according to the Soviets, and how credible are they really? To be fair, they won Stalingrad.
Oh, is he saying about Vasily Zaitsev?
Yeah, allegedly.
That is not just according to the Soviets. That's also according to the ridiculous amount of documentation that the Nazis did. The Nazis,
but he was played by Jude Law, so I'm kind of iffy on all that.
Hey, man, Jude Law played a good John Watson.
He did, but his Russian accent leaves a little something to be desired. Same as Sean Connery.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's not just from the Soviets that we got the records of Stalingrad. There's also the Nazi and Wehrmacht records. And yes, I'm separating those two because they should. No, they survived Stalingrad? Who are you saying?
He's telling Quiz they didn't win Stalingrad. They survived Stalingrad.
Okay.
Militarily, they still held and then took, pushed the Nazis back out of Stalingrad.
I thought they encircled him and made him surrender.
Real Zaitsev did look like a potato, but he was fucking Russian during World War II.
Yeah,
it's not
everyone looks like a potato.
Going to have the most amazing specimens from Russia during World War II.
I'll say there was the major thing that killed all the Nazis at Stalingrad was the Soviet winter, but they militarily they outplayed the Nazis.
They held the defensive until the siege was broken.
Oh, Cuba's asking for U.S. technical assistance in the oil fire cleanup.
I'll say credit where it's due.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I say. You criticize the fucking horrible leadership all you want. That's absolutely fair fucking game because they were terrible. But the actual boots on the ground soldiers they did their job and they did their job well.
I'd say that they did their job, and some of them did it well.
Yeah, some of them did it well. It's true. I say you got to remember also this is the last war where conscription was a major mainstay of the war. So most of the people were going in there incredibly ill-equipped, incredibly ill-trained.
Well,
and
it's not the last one because we then had.
Well, Vietnam. Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying.
And both Vietnam and Korea were conscription wars, and Vietnam. Part of the reason why Vietnam was so fucked is because
the French.
The government kept on reducing the requirements for conscription.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the longest time, if you were a violent criminal, you could not join the military, even in conscription. Fuck you, we aren't giving you a weapon, you insane, violent sociopath. Guess what rule they changed during Vietnam?
Maybe they were hoping that they'd die, you know, in
Now,
a
are you
big
talking
old
about the
napalm
Americans
explosion.
or
The
the
Americans, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
took a bunch of people and we
What's weird
gave...
too is that in you know, like hindsight is 2020 sort of thing. Ho Chi Minh was a massive fan of the way things were done in America, and then you know when he went communist, he wanted to try and you know ally with America and all sorts of stuff. You know, try to be best friends with FDR like Stalin was, but then just America just said you know no fuck you, and then created this massive you know protracted needless campaign.
FDR was dead by the time.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, tried to be communist and capitalist friends with America. I mean, Ho Chi Minh was an incredibly intelligent guy.
Yeah, and it was a war that was lost by the collapse of the will to fight on the American side.
Good night, Prospero.
Night, Prospero.
Have a good one, Prospero. But yeah, there were a lot of massive fuck-ups when it came to that. And like I said, it was a war that was lost by the home front.
Mm-hmm. The major thing about that, too, is that it just didn't have the same... I hate to use the word propaganda, and I don't think it's a proper word to describe it, but it didn't have the same public support that World War II did. Yep. Because it just wasn't the same kind of war. You didn't have a clear-cut enemy like you did with fucking Hitler.
And also, we were fighting it in a stupid as shit way.
Yeah.
Because rather than... We did the same with Korea.
Yep.
In Korea, we fought to return status quo. We didn't fight to win.
Mm-hmm.
We fought to return things to how they were, which is what pissed off... goddamn, who was it? It was... Was it Eisenhower that got pissed off by that? Who the fuck was it?
Korea? You mean MacArthur?
MacArthur, yeah, sorry. MacArthur got pissed off by the fact that we were fighting to return Korea, right? The status quo. Yeah. When he was saying when he landed, said that he would be able to push the communists back to China.
Didn't he also want to nuke the DMZ?
He wanted to nuke China. Because
in hindsight, that
supplying shit.
Yeah, in hindsight, I don't think it would have been the worst idea. No.
But Patton wanted to march on Moscow. MacArthur wanted to nuke China.
Yep,
we really missed some opportunities here.
Yeah, and the thing is that when you look at what MacArthur did, MacArthur landed when South Korea was effectively gone. Then he pushed past the DMZ, substantially past the DMZ, and was all set to continue the push, doing exactly what he said he would be able to do, push the communists back to fucking China. And then he was ordered to return to the DMZ, to retreat to the DMZ. That was a fucking kick in the nuts. And then we tried to do something very similar in Vietnam, where we weren't trying to win. We were trying to establish a North and South Vietnam. And we lost the will to fight because that is a long, fucked up process. Mm-hmm. It's much better to have the mentality of we're going to go in, we're going to break their shit, we're going to break them, and win the fucking war. Which is what we had when it came to World War II. We didn't have this, we're just going to push the Nazis back into Germany. No, we went, fuck them, we're breaking their shit. We're going to break them, we're going to get it so that the current government is no longer a fucking thing, fuck them. It's done. That's how you fight a war. And we've unfortunately continued trying to do the stupid shit from Vietnam and Korea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on the bright side with Korea, how many seasons of MASH did we get out of that?
More than the... Or it lasted longer than the war.
I see that as a net gain.
And the movie wasn't bad either. But it's just... What the fuck? The fact that we had those two wars functionally back to fucking back, and we're still trying to do what we tried to do in those wars. And we're completely forgetting how we... Because we have done rebuilding nations before. We did it twice at the same fucking time and did it rather successfully at the same fucking time. Because we helped rebuild Japan and we helped rebuild Germany.
Mm-hmm. Well,
no,
I think that
Plan help rebuild other places too.
I think that the major thing that also comes down to social mores and stuff like that, because you can hardly compare the rebuilding of Japan to the rebuilding of like Iraq.
Oh no, you can't.
Well, the reason why you can't really compare them is because the rebuilding of Japan and Germany was actually planned for.
Mm-hmm.
They actually spent more time planning the post-war rebuild than they did the actual invasion.
True.
And I think the biggest difference is...
And with Iraq, they didn't even write that shit down on a cocktail napkin.
I think the biggest thing when it comes to the difference in the rebuild efforts is you could rebuild Germany and you could rebuild Japan, because before the war, they were developed. They were built. When you're looking at Afghanistan, how the fuck are you going to rebuild something that was never built in the first place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Afghanistan is a shithole of a country that barely is functional as a country, which is the reason why it's impossible to hold.
And the same thing for Iraq. Iraq was never really built. The way that Iraq was functioning was you had a strongman dictator that kept all the other vicious bastards scared.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good setup, but it was the setup.
And Sanguine, to answer your question about how do you rebuild Afghanistan? First, you bomb it flat as a parking lot, and then you start from scratch.
So
then you
going
lose.
to say the largest glass factory in the world.
The problem is then you lose all of its natural resources, and of which there are a ton that come out of there. Poppy fields and lithium are major things that are found in Afghanistan.
Yep. Well, the lithium...
Yeah, since we started bombing them. I mean, you think they would have found that fucking lithium if we weren't blowing shit up every day for 20 years?
That's
the
true.
lithium would have been fine. It's underground. You can flatten everything else. The poppy fields...
And do we really need poppies at this point? We've got fentanyl. I mean, poppies are so obsolete at this point.
Yeah, those are mainly used for making heroin.
And morphine. Come on. Be genuine about it. Come on.
I am being genuine. Most of the Afghani poppy
Yes,
seeds,
most Afghani poppy seeds are made to used to make heroin. Yes, that's true.
Poppies.
I thought they were growing them to make muffins and bagels, guys. Are you telling me they're making drugs?
No. Mustard. Obviously.
Yeah. Poppies can be used to make delicious muffins and can be used to make opiates. Afghani poppies were used to make heroin.
Well, to be fair, heroin is an opiate.
Yeah, I'm talking the standard medicinal opiates outside of England, because I think England still has heroin as an actual prescription.
Mm-hmm.
They go by a different name, but it's heroin. What is the med that is in England
Molodnum?
that is heroin?
I'm going Old West here. So they're still prescribing heroin, but we can't put the cocaine back in Coke?
Right? God. No, I don't need I don't
med-
need cocaine and Coke. Look at me.
There's a med in the UK that
I'm already
is
too high strung.
Oh man, they put the cocaine back. I'm gonna be wired.
I think my heart would explode if they put cocaine back in.
I did remember it correctly. It is diacetylmorphine, or just diamorphine, is the med that is still used in the UK, and yeah, it's heroin.
Yeah.
It isn't a med derived from it's heroin. It is just heroin. So,
wow, D. Snyder's still a thing, huh? Okay.
D.
yeah,
Snyder?
there's a few different places that still use it.
Lead vocalist from Twisted Sister?
Yes.
Of course he is.
Well, earlier today, in the wee hours of the morning, he tweeted out, "Attention, QAnon, maggot fascists. Every time you sing, we're not going to take it. Remember, it was written by a cross-dressing, libtard, tree-hugging half-Jew who hates everything you stand for. It was you and people like you that inspired every angry word of that song, so fuck off." I didn't realize that Tipper Gore was a MAGA supporter.
So yeah, the places that you could still get heroin prescribed to you are Hong Kong prior to China. Still had it legal. The Netherlands, the United Kingdom, Switzerland, Australia, Canada. Also, nope, that one is illegal now.
I enjoy illicit drugs as much as the next person, but you couldn't pay me to go to any of those places to partake.
Yeah, no, not on me. Well, Canada? Maybe.
No.
Just not in the winter.
No. I'm sorry, man. As long as they've got a Castro running that place, I ain't going up north.
He's just
I'm
a
sure...
Castro Biblo. He's not a Castro in name. As if Fidel would ever acknowledge a theater teacher.
I've seen the side-by-sides. Can't convince me otherwise.
He's a Castro Biblo. He was not acknowledged because why the fuck would Castro admit that his bastard son was a fucking theater teacher?
To rub it in Canada's face that he plowed their prime minister's old lady?
I think it's more insulting that everyone
cucking a whole country. You don't think Fidel would brag about that?
No, because I think it's more embarrassing for everyone to know he did it, and him going, "That pussy? No, I'm not going to acknowledge him."
I mean, he's turning Canada into a commie shithole without firing a shot. I think old Pappy would be proud.
See, I disagree. I still think that Castro would have been disappointed that it was a fucking theater teacher.
And that's the thing, man, is that, we can say what we want about the Canadian government. The Canadian government is absolute garbage. Especially, did you guys hear about the one thing that happened in the Canadian military here recently?
Oh, about the PTSD?
The PTSD guy?
Yeah. We talked about that.
Yeah.
The other night, was it last night with Johnny?
It wasn't last night.
No, it was Tuesday. I was with Harry. Harry was hosting on Tuesday, and I brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
So do tell, because I haven't heard it yet.
There was a
VA call center got a call from a guy who had PTSD and was looking for help, and the call center person referred him to another agency that
they referred him for a MAID.
Yeah,
medically assisted medical assistance in dying.
Oh, the euthanasia thing.
Yeah.
Basically just told him to kill himself.
He called him up because he was dealing with PTSD, and I think he also had a brain injury.
Something like that.
And unprompted, because he was looking for, to get some help with his PTSD, unprompted, the person on the other end of the line's like, you thought about just killing yourself, bro?
It's like, holy shit.
That is.
The Canadian citizens are too good for their current government and their current fucking support systems, because the military is being hamstrung from all of these people. Their fucking government is ineffectual and feculent. The fucking support structures are telling citizens that are just trying to cope and get on with their lives to kill themselves. Fucking the Canadian government needs a hard reboot.
Well, not only that, of the suggesting the veteran, kill himself. I believe they're also extending what they call it MAID, which I think is just call it, assisted suicide, euthanasia, whatever.
Yeah, euthanasia.
This trying to make it into some sterile acronym just kind of makes it worse, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to be
denying the fundamental. It's denying the fundamental core of what it actually is.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like PTSD, and it used to be called shell shock. It's like,
yeah,
it had more weight to it back then, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But no, like they're going to be extending that to people with just like mental illness. It's not going to be like, oh, you're dying from cancer and you're suffering immense pain from it. Okay, well, we can help you, end your suffering. No, it's like, oh, I'm depressed. Well, you just go ahead and lay down here, and we'll
can't be
go ahead
depressed.
And strap this.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, good artists borrow, great artists steal, and he came up with a great bit there. So yeah, and why not reference it, Assassin?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the whole MAID thing really drives that point home that Carlin was making about making these serious things into sterile bite-sized kind of.
Well, it's what Penn Jillette said about abortion, and I'll never stop touting that. Is that there's this disingenuousness that comes with a lot of political discussion nowadays. Penn Jillette said pro-choice and pro-life. Everyone is pro-choice and pro-life. It's for or against abortion that you're trying to argue. And if all you can do is just regurgitate talking points and not formulate your own thought, every single thing out of your mouth is fucking worthless.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to fucking hear it.
But yeah, that was the latest bit of what the fuck are you doing, Canada, that I saw. So yeah,
that's
not gonna go up there just so I can do legal smack.
Yeah.
You'd still have to get a doctor's note for it, but
I mean, how hard could it be? Like, did I tell you how difficult it was for me to get my medical marijuana card?
I was gonna say, is it as difficult as getting a weed card? Because I think it's gonna be pretty easy.
I literally used a Ron White joke to get my weed card. So,
God, I hope it wasn't the one about getting the toy with his wife.
No. I walked into his little office there and waited my turn to go back, and talk to him and sit down. He said, "So, what's going on that you feel you need to get medical marijuana?" I said, "Well, Doc, I get kind of bummed when I run out of weed." He's like, "Okay, so we have depression. How's your sleep?" It's like, well, I mean, sleeping is fine. Getting to sleep a little difficult. Insomnia, all right. How about anxiety? Have you watched the news lately? You feeling kind of anxious about anything?
I say you need to watch the weed card episode of Garfunkel and Oates. They're
you showed me that one time.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I have seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I say it's pretty much the same thing. It's like, looking for any sort of way to misconstrue like normal like life's aches and pains into, oh yeah, no, it's horrible debilitating illness that you need marijuana to cope with. So yeah.
Well, but the only thing I haven't tried out yet since I got the medical marijuana card is like making like a gun purchase, because I can just imagine that coming back to bite me in the ass. So it says here you have depression, anxiety, and insomnia. Why do you think we should give you a gun? Are you insane? Get the fuck out of here.
Let's put it this way: here in Illinois, you could not even apply to your FOID card at all, and you need the FOID card to be able to get a gun. So yeah, no, if here in Illinois, you're right out, man. And say if you have anything that links you to depression, whether or not you are actually taking antidepressants or even just weed, anything like that, if you are with any sort of clinical diagnosis for depression, they will deny you getting a gun here in Illinois.
Well, I live in Oklahoma, which is pretty much North Texas, so it's a toss-up. I might still be able to get one.
That's true.
Most areas also, if you use THC, then you weren't allowed to own.
Well,
really?
if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to go back and check the laws again, because I haven't looked at it recently. I think you can have a medical marijuana card. You just can't be like under the influence when you discharge a firearm. It's like,
yeah.
I was like, well, wait a second. It's like I usually burn one down before I go to bed. What if somebody breaks into my house in the middle of the night? Like 3-4 hours after I lay my head on the pillow. Am I going to get in trouble for shooting some asshole that broke into my house because, like, I still got a bit of a buzz going? Really?
I mean, maybe. The major thing is that, like, most places treat marijuana where it's legal, whether medicinal or recreational, like it is here in Illinois. They treat marijuana as if you are under the influence of alcohol. So if you test positive for it, like they can tell how long it's been in your system, and if you were under the influence of said drug at the time of the incident.
I mean, if somebody breaks in my house 2, 3, 4 hours after I smoke a joint, it's definitely gonna be in my system. This shit is potent as fuck nowadays.
Okay, I need to ask you something too. I'm not going to say that I haven't indulged, and maybe indulged some during these past couple of weeks. Have you ever noticed that it seems like it hits you a lot quicker and a lot easier if you go from a bowl rather than a joint? Because it did me.
No, generally the ones that would hit me the fastest would be like bong rips.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I'll say, unfortunately, that's one thing I've still never done. I've still never smoked from a bong. I need to.
I generally stick with I generally stick with pre-rolls, because these days I don't smoke a whole lot. Like I'll light one, and these are like 1 gram pre-rolls.
Sure.
And I'll light one. I'll take, I don't know, a handful of hits off of it, put it back in the tube, snuff it out, save it for later, go on about my business. Sure. Now, if it had been like, high school Camel, I was retarded, smoking weed. I used to have a 4-foot steamroller that I had just sitting in the back floorboard of my car. And it had what they call a party bowl on it. You could fit 1/4 of an ounce in that thing.
Nice.
If one person could actually get the smoke to go front, because like if you're trying to, you had to have 2 people to light it. Okay. Because it had the little carburetor on the back of it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, unless you had like 5-foot arms and you were like holding the carb closed with your toe, you're not lighting that shit by yourself.
Sure.
And I had great lung capacity back in the day. I could actually fill that thing to the top. But it would take like 6 or 7 of us to clear it before the smoke went stale. It looked like the Jamaican track team,
running,
just passing the baton on the relay.
That's funny.
I say, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Come on now, it's smoking time.
It's smoking time. I say, like, because like the this last couple of weeks, we smoked a couple of joints, and then one night we were taking hits off of the bowl that we've got, and I don't know, man, it's like the joints weren't really kind of getting me there, weren't getting me actually full on feeling it, but the
not
bowl,
even hippie
man,
grannies.
no, it like that. Okay, that one actually kind of did. That one in particular, when we smoked with the hippie granny, yeah, that one kind of did. But like when we got back to Illinois,
I watched.
Yeah,
I do not partake.
I did not exhale. But yeah, no, that whole thing, like that one, I think was the last joint that got me there. But like every other time, it's like it didn't quite get me, actually high. It was weird.
It could be that like usually a bowl has a carb on it, so you're able to get more of a direct hit. Whereas with joints, I mean, depending on how loosely or tightly they're packed,
yeah,
that can really make especially if they pack them way too tight, you can be pulling on that and not get hardly anything.
Okay.
But yeah, I prefer a joint just because I can throw that back in the tube, snuff it out real quick, and go about my business.
Yeah, say it's definitely a lot quicker and cleaner and easier to manage.
I mean, speaking of cleaner, also, I think they said when you're going through like the different methods of smoking, taking a bong rip is actually the cleanest because you've got the water filtration, and then I think joints were next, and then like bowls and pipes.
Oh yeah, but like the bowl,
you've got all the resin stuff in there.
Yeah, all the resin shit. Yeah, it definitely hits harsher, much harsher, and in terms of like, how you can definitely tell it's like, oh yeah, I'm getting something bad out of this. But that's the reason why I kind of want to get a bong and start doing a bong rips, because that would be way better. It just feel better, I think.
I mean, it depends on like, for me, the only problem I had with bong rips were, and to a lesser extent pipes as well. You can go through your stash way faster with those things. Like you'll burn that shit up way faster.
No.
And like I'm smoking on a budget, so it's like, yeah, I'll take the the $2 house pre-roll. Thank you very much.
Let's put it this way, man. I'm in a privileged position then, I guess, because a buddy of mine came over and gave me just a whole shit ton of shake. Like prescription bottles.
Oh yeah.
He gave me a whole prescription bottle full of shake.
Oh, that's a few ounces at least.
Yeah. And then he gave me another container that had, I think, like 4 or 5 whole buds in it. Nice. I'm all like, holy shit, I'm not going to smoke all this, man. Or this is going to take me forever to.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, of course, I say back in the day, high school times, and the time thereafter, pretty much up until they passed medical marijuana a few years back. I don't know. It was less, it being less prevalent because it was illegal, and also, there was more ritual and everything to it. Like you couldn't find anybody to get that re-up, and then like your buddy comes through, and you go over and you go to smoke, and everyone's sitting down, and like it was kind of like half baked. I'm not gonna lie. Everyone had their spot. They had their select munchies and whatnot. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna burn one, we're gonna watch a fucking movie.
Dude,
we made an event out of it because
whenever we did that in high school, that was the ritual, man. You go over to someone's place, you settle in for the night, you get your movies, you get your snacks and shit like that, you burn one out, and then you just fucking chill all night, and it was great.
Oh yeah, and like of course, me at the time, like it wasn't just watching a movie. It's like, dude, we're gonna be here for hours.
Yeah, it's like go to Blockbuster, rent like 6 movies.
Like it was at least a double feature. But then also, I mean, back then again, did a lot of stupid stuff too. Drove around with fucking 4-foot paraphernalia, just and I didn't have tinted windows either. You could just walk by in the parking lot, like, what the fuck is that?
That's my tennis gear.
You know, I was in high school. I would wake and bake, and there's one day I was running late to school, so I'm like smoking in my car as I'm driving to campus. I had one. It was a gas mask.
Oh, nice.
Like the little oxygen mask, and it just had a tube that came off, the front of it. Had a little carb at the end of the tube in the bowl right there. And I called it Hannibal because if you did not hit that thing properly, it would eat your face.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure you kind of look like Hannibal with that thing strapped to your face.
Look probably more like Dennis Hopper in was a Blue Velvet.
Okay.
But no, I took a rip off of that as I was parking, and I hit it wrong. Like I was in a rush, and so like part of the smoke, went into my lungs, but a good portion of it went into my stomach.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. And so I'm sitting there hacking, coughing, eyes are bloodshot as all fuck, watery, just on the verge of tears almost. And I gotta get the fuck inside. Only a couple minutes till the last bell. I'm gonna be tardy, and I don't need to be going to the office in this condition.
Yeah, right.
And as soon as I put my hand on the front door, go to open it, I'm walking right past the office to get upstairs to go to my first class, and immediately I burp a cloud of smoke into the foyer. And I just stopped. I was like, "Oh shit! Did that really just? Fuck it! I'm out of here."
Fucking cheese it.
Nice.
Yeah, there's so many things that should have gotten me in trouble as a young man that I was very fortunate did not come to pass.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like it was a very well kept secret that I was a stoner in high school.
Well, no, dude, like that's like it's a secret to everybody. Like we had this one guy, he was an upperclassman to me. He was 1 year ahead of me. So like when I was going in as a junior, he was
Senior?
No, he was like when I was a junior, he was a senior, and so on and so forth, all the way back to freshman. He was a sophomore, and he was the connection, and his nickname was just Dirty Hippie. So hey man, you go over to Dirty Hippies.
We had one like that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I thought this dude was just a complete jackass. I had 2 classes with him. I think he was also a grade ahead of me. And I thought maybe he was batting for the other team. Kind of just something about him was just off. And he was that kind of not a dirty hippie, but kind of like a hipster hippie, I guess.
Sure.
He was an Abercrombie and Finch hippie.
Okay. We call those, I called them neo hippies.
Okay.
Gotcha. I don't wear deodorant because it's not natural, but I drive a Ford Explorer.
You're one of those Woodstock 99 hippies. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Limp Bizkit hippies. The best part about it is that we had a friend. His mom was first generation, I believe, Chinese. And I say that because I can't remember if she was Chinese or if she was not Korean, Vietnamese. But it was so funny because she had this like incredibly thick accent. And it was always fun to just kind of like imitate her, and even he would imitate his mom too. Like it was just the sort of thing, like, between all of us. But there was one time where Dirty Hippie was over at his house, and she just looks at him and like walks up and like grabs a hold of his ear because he had an earring in, and she goes like, "What is this? You wear an earring? Does that mean you gay? You gay?" I just berated him, talking about how he was gay for like the next like 30 minutes, and all of us were just laughing our asses off.
Base tiger mom there, yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's the first time I've ever used based. Period.
Her other favorite one is to say asshole dipshit. But of course, she's got
minus the L.
Asshole dipshit. It was always great.
No, but my neo hippie dude. I thought he was just a jackass,
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized, like, oh no, he's a fucking evil genius.
Devious genius.
Yeah, this devious bastard. He found out that the the cops were coming by to do a sweep,
Mm-hmm.
and back then they would bring the canine around the cars in the parking lot,
Sure.
and the lockers. So this just fucking Einstein, he runs out to his car, we all know like what he's going to get,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Everyone who's not in a position of authority immediately, connects the dots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've used this line before, but he was about as devious as Don Knotts on sodium pentothal.
Okay.
Dude had no poker face, right?
Okay, yeah.
So he comes back, and we're expecting him to be sweating bullets, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, man, cool as a cucumber. And I couldn't figure it out why. Just like ice water in his veins. Cops are sweeping all the cars. They're going around the lockers, and I'm just watching this motherfucker because we were in the same class, when they're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point in time, like I'm only a sophomore, I hadn't started smoking yet, right? And I'm just watching him, and finally, like class is over, we go to leave, and instead of going off to my locker to get ready for my next class, I just keep following him. This motherfucker hid his stash in the library. And he got away with it because who the fuck is going to search the library?
That's true. That's true.
I was like, oh. So
did he hide
between your ears actually works. Okay, we can be friends now.
What was it, Sanguine?
Did he hide it in the fucking part of the stacks?
Well, I mean, this was high school, so there wasn't a lot of fucking going on in the stacks of my library.
Well, I mean,
I got more action in the cafeteria than the library, so.
I say mines were in the back halls. The high school I went to was like a honeycomb full of like hallways that sometimes had like whole classrooms that just were completely disused.
I had a buddy again.
Fucking Inquisitor went to Hive City School.
Yeah, right.
Well, I had another buddy who was also like an idiot savant, like the neo hippie dude.
Mm-hmm.
I found out he was fucking his girlfriend in one of the bathrooms. I was like, dude, aren't you worried somebody's gonna come in and be like, what the fuck are you doing, and get you in trouble, yada yada? He's like, nah. I was like, just nah. You want to elaborate on that a little bit, dude? He's like, well, before she and I go in there, I put a sign on the door that says the bathroom's out of order.
Nice.
I was like,
evil genius.
I was like, it's so simple yet so elegant.
Yeah, right?
How the fuck did you come up with this?
I mean, the only thing that would make it even better is if you had a key so that he could lock it from the inside.
Well, I'm trying to remember. I think you could lock him from the inside. I think they had like the little deadbolt deal.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But like nobody ever used them because I mean, all you gotta do is have the janitor come up with the key and like,
and just click it open. Yeah.
Caught, yeah. But yeah, he had the four. This dude would have failed 5th grade if it wasn't for me. But somehow he had the foresight. Apparently, like he needed all the blood to rush to his dick for his brain to start working, and he finally like, hey, this could work.
I mean, not to throw any shade to those brothers that have the same mental hurdles to overcome, but good on them for learning it.
Yeah. I was like, well, I mean, congratulations, dude. I'm not gonna do that. It'd be my luck to be the one time like, oh, this bathroom's out of order. Somebody get the janitor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Someone say, hey, why is the bathroom out of order? And the janitor's like, what are you talking about?
Oh.
So yeah, the libraries at the school that I went to would not work for that. They were all like open air, so like all like there was no such thing as the stacks at the library that we had. It was all like outer walls, but the library was big enough and multi-tiered that it didn't have like stacks.
Yeah, for the fucking part of the library, you need stacks, and you need it to be a big library with stacks so that you have a section that fucking no one goes into because it's boring as shit stuff kept back there. And then that becomes the fucking part of the library.
I will say this: the funniest thing about the library when at the school that I went to, and it was actually part of my junior health class that we had to do, because everyone, in Illinois, it was a requirement, a state requirement to graduate. You needed to have one semester of health. And so the health class that we had, one of the things we had to do was do a project on drugs. And I was randomly selected to do cocaine with like another. Don't sound clip that. But like the subject matter was for cocaine for the one we had to do. But
it's too late now.
We had to. We found this book. It was hilarious. It was published in the 70s. I want to say it was. So it wasn't like necessarily too far off the base for it to be accurate when it comes to drug science, right? But there was we had to work it into our presentation because it was so goddamn funny, and we had the citation for the book, page number and everything, where we had the book in hand when we gave the presentation, because it had a passage that said, and I quote, "Cocaine gives black people superhuman strength."
Nice.
I mean,
and we thought it was so goddamn funny.
Let's be honest though, between like the 30s and the 70s, well, I mean, you could probably even stretch that into the 80s or 90s. Didn't they think like just about all drugs gave black people superhuman strength?
Well, yeah, probably. But I think it was kind of a holdover from the fucking restoration period of the U.S.
I remember we had the DARE officer show up. It's I think my senior year. That they, of course, they showed up just about every year, but my class ended up having to listen to him, when I was a senior, and by that point, I was, I was cool with the drugs,
Yeah.
And I decided, like, well, I'm going to take this opportunity since, this guy's supposed to be, their drug officer. He's supposed to, have all the information about drugs. I'm going to ask him about some drugs that I'm looking forward to trying, but I haven't had a chance to yet.
Yeah, right?
Just kind of shopping around. And I started asking him about, like, I was like, as a 17-year-old camel, I was like, I want to try LSD. I want to try, magic mushrooms, DMT, so on and so forth.
Sure.
And so I started asking about this, and he had no fucking clue. He's like, pretty much like, all right, marijuana, cocaine, heroin, meth. Yeah, I got those bases covered. This trippy hippie shit, I don't know what you're talking about, kid. Nobody ever asked me about these drugs. So, but yeah, we didn't have health class when I was in school. We did have like sex ed. I did a sex ed class when I was. I mean, it wasn't really even a class. It was like it was like a class period. That they discussed it. And I had that in like 7th grade and 9th grade.
I just feel like you walk in and your class period was wrap it before you tap it. Okay, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Well, that was the funny thing is that our health class was like a partial sex ed too. So it was mostly like drugs and sex ed.
They should have thrown some rock and roll in there and made it a well-balanced class.
It would have been amazing, right? I would say, why was that class only a semester? I'd take that for a whole year. But
I would fail it on purpose so I could take it all 4 years.
Exactly, right?
Did you guys also have to deal with this is what a syphilitic penis looks like?
Of course.
This is what this sort of penis looks like. It was always various sorts of STD penises.
Now, see, that was the junior high sex ed class I took because, like I said, it was like 7th grade. So if you start, going through puberty at like 12, 13, guess what? You may have had a summer where you were, off on your own in the wilderness about this, but you come back to school and first thing out the gate is, this is what syphilis looks like.
Yeah.
It's like, I've barely started touching my dick. I don't want anybody else to touch it now. Thank you.
Yes. Hey, shit. Are you trying to make me abstinent?
but the freshman year one, that was better because they tried to make their point with different little exercises. And the one that stuck with me, because they did have a Q&A session as well. Like they didn't put like pictures of crotch rot on the projector, but they talked. Here's the main reasons why you shouldn't do this or that. Disease, pregnancy, so on and so forth. Okay, cool, we know that. Thanks. But to really kind of bring the point home, they had us all have these like little clear, pink cups, like kind of like your standard disposable plastic cups. And they poured one agent into the cup, right? And it's clear liquid. They pour water into the cup, and then you were supposed to, the agent they put in was only in like a select few cups, right? And then we were supposed to go around and share water from our cups with each other, and that was supposed to be the sexual activity.
Sure.
And then they come back at the end and they put a second agent into the cup, and it reacts with the first agent if it's in your cup. And it changed color, and that means, hey, you've got an STD. Well, I shared with everybody in the room, and my cup came up clear. And I was like, huh. And so like they get to the point where they've gone over this, they've talked it out and everything, and they say, so does anybody want to share what they learned from this exercise? And of course my hand goes up because I'm an idiot. Like, yes, you in the back. I said, well, I understand what you guys are saying here. It's supposed to be, showing us how STDs are spread, but I shared with everybody, and my cup is still clear, and I held up the cup for everyone to see. I said, so I guess the moral of the story here is get there first.
That's kind of like when I was in college. There's always those drink responsibly programs at colleges. You guys have had to deal with those before, right?
Oh, not only did I have to deal with it, I had to deal with it through improv.
Oh God! I'm never now more feeling more lucky to have gone to an art school that did not have on campus housing in my life.
Yeah, there was the drink responsibly programs that they would have, and I went to one of the ones for my dorm at one point, and they handed out the height body weight cards. And then they went up to the front and they started talking to everyone about how these cards are meant to be cheat sheets for how much you could drink before you got drunk. So it gives you the rough blood alcohol content that you would have after X number of drinks and X amount of time.
That would have been, in my college, those cards would have been used as a challenge. Like, if they had passed those out, every house party would have had a scale, like a bathroom scale, as soon as you walk in the door.
Yep. So,
oh, come on, 3 more beers, you pussy. How much do you weigh?
So when it came to that, you've seen me, Inquisitor. I'm a big dude.
Sure.
I mean,
and this was
you've been on cam. We've all seen you. We all know you're a big dude.
I'm not sure how many people pay attention to the camera. I've been on a couple times, not all that often. But yeah, I went to this, and this was also while I was really big into weightlifting at the time. So I was leg pressing over half a ton as a rep weight. I was benching. This was before I reached the 300 pounds as a 50 rep per set bench weight, but I was still bench pressing like 240 something pounds at 50 reps a set. So fuck ton of weight for the number of reps I was doing. So big guy back then as well. So handed out these cards, and then they started doing so if you guys drank this number of drinks in this amount of time, how drunk would you be? And everyone was like, oh, I'd be toasted, looking at their cards. I looked down at mine, perfectly fine. No, there's no way. They come over, look at my card. Holy shit, yeah, you're good to go. Next combination was like, if you drank, I think it was Four Loko had just become a big thing. Or
those things are disgusting.
Becoming a big thing again.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was the first time they were becoming big or the second time.
Four Loko, for those who don't remember or don't know, it was an energy drink with essentially a beer in it.
That's quite generous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of alcohol it was, but it tasted just god awful.
Oh, it's terrible. You're combining that with a fucking energy drink too. Energy drinks are not known for their taste.
No, they're not.
Yep.
And I didn't even finish one of them. I was like,
they're
first
awful.
of all, this thing tastes disgusting. Why would you want to drink this? And secondly, like, why do you want to have alcohol and an energy drink combined? Like, when I get drunk, I want to go to sleep. I don't want to stay awake and watch the room spin. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the worst, is like when the room is spinning, because that means it's gonna exacerbate, whatever fucking blood is pumping in your system to get you to fucking throw up. And I say that when the room is spinning, that's when you know you're gonna throw up.
Now, see, for me, it's whenever the mouth starts watering.
Oh, for me, it's when the room starts spinning. If the room starts spinning really, really badly and I can't close my eyes and stop the vertigo, I know I'm going to throw up. And that's the thing, is that, like, I don't even have a queasy stomach. Sanguine saw me. I'm sitting there just like, without even touching the railing, riding out the waves on the fucking ferry. I do not have like a problem with motion sickness or anything like that. But if the room starts spinning, that's when I know I'm going to throw up when I get drunk.
Yep. So it was doing that, and it was like, if you drank a Four Loko and you had added this number of shots of whiskey to it, and it was 30 minutes after you finished drinking, what would your blood alcohol content be? And most of the people are like, yeah, I'd be toasted. I look at my card, I'd be fine. They come over, shit, yeah, you're still good. The entire time they were just coming up with different drink combinations.
See, I'm
coming over to double check my card to make sure I was reading it right, and then telling me, "Yeah, you're good to go. You can drink that."
I just imagine saying what's in there, like, well, what proof is the whiskey? First of all, is it an Irish whiskey? Is it?
Are we talking bottle condition or are we talking cask condition? Which one are we talking here?
How much alcohol per volume is there?
Yeah. Are we talking one of the ones that's like the low 40s, upper 30s? Or are we talking one of the standards that are in the like mid 40s? Or are we talking one of the strong ones that's 50 to 60 something? What are we talking here?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just hilarious because it was meant to be this safe drinking program, and it ended up being the person doing the program just constantly telling me, yeah, you can drink more than that.
Like I said, in my school, that would have just been a challenge. They would have had like some like $1.20 cheerleader like doing offensive lineman drinks.
So this whole discussion has me remembering, and I looked up and looked for it. For those that don't know about this, I highly recommend checking it out for yourself. It's a website that archives specific funny chat logs from originally from IRC. I think now they just do it from anything, but it's called bash.org, the QDB quote database, just one that immediately popped in mind. I had to go and find it, and I found it. Here we go. Quote: at my school, the cop from Dare passed around 3 joints to show everyone. He said, quote, if I don't get all 3 of these back by the get these 3 back, the school's getting locked down and everyone is getting searched until I find it. And like 30 years or 30 years, 30 minutes later, when everyone's gotten to see them and they got passed back to the cop, he had 4.
Nice.
Oh, something off topic. Quiz. I know you've like I said, gone on sabbatical from the Twitters.
Yes.
Sanguine. Anybody still in chat? Have you guys noticed an uptick in the bots?
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, I couldn't get past like 270 followers. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at like 306 now. And when I go back through looking at my follower count, I've got to scroll to find the last person that I know is actually a person that followed me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm still getting...
Like, I'm getting a bunch of like Instagram thoughts. For some reason, I've got some chick with the Yemeni and Palestinian flags in her bio that retweets a bunch of shit in Arabic. Yeah. It's like...
Okay. I've told you guys about the weird spam messages that I've received before from Japanese people, right?
I've gotten something like that too, like the spam messages in like Japanese and Chinese.
Were you getting the mommy services one?
I think so.
See, like the only spam messages I get is like, again, it's like those thought bots, pretty much like they're tagging 50 some odd different people into a DM. It's like,
yeah,
no, I'm not sticking around for this. And then
I keep on getting a bunch of things asking if I'm interested in sugar mama, sugar baby shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
I've been looking for a sugar mama for...
It's all in Japanese. That's also the part that I'm going, what the hell?
Dude,
why?
I'll get Dash to teach me some Japanese.
Dude, fucking Christmas cake. Give me Christmas cake all day, every day, man. I want some Christmas cake. I want me some MILF. I want me a Japanese sugar mama. Fuck yeah, I do.
But yeah, I keep on getting those spam messages, which if you try to Google Translate them or DeepL them, they always translate into the weirdest shit. Like, offering mommy services.
I'll say, I think I'm pretty my current idea behind Twitter is perfectly exemplified by one of the last quote tweets, or not quote tweets, just retweets that I put up on my account from Demon Dice. Opens Twitter, closes Twitter. Time to hit the Johnny W and get blasted and watch Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
Nice.
I like what Johnny says. Sorry, baby. Make room for Mrs. Hellcat's on.
Right?
Very nice.
But no, like I know as soon as I open my notifications and scroll to like wherever, like, oh, you got a new follower. Okay, scroll down without even opening the profiles. Like, oh, that picture looks like Instagram thought model. I'm like, okay, well, let's go ahead and open the profile. Oh, started this account last month. Only has 3 tweets. They're all pictures of some vaguely similar looking woman.
Have you guys received the Japanese ones where their description's just their height and cup size?
I wish. I just told you. I got a chick that's just retweeting a bunch of shit in Arabic.
I get the fun bots, apparently.
Yeah. Apparently, yeah. I get the terrorists. They're profiling me because I'm a camel, damn it.
Yes. I say, for those, by the way,
you don't want to know what they'll do to you.
I've heard about the camel beauty competitions. I don't want any Botox, thank you.
I was thinking more about which Middle Eastern country was it where 15 men from a village had contracted rabies?
Probably Saudi Arabia.
From fucking a donkey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, ask yourself this. Why do they have camel beauty pageants in the first place? And why are they shoving Botox in them to make them look more appealing?
Yeah. Or goats, for that matter. Check the DMs for the image again. For those, by the way, that don't get my reference when I was saying Christmas cake, this is what is referred to that. According to Urban Dictionary, it originates from Japan, where the tradition to eat cake on Christmas. So a cake intended for Christmas that was not eaten as leftover is considered bad and should be thrown out. Japanese businessmen coined the term once again, emphasizing Japan's desire for a young, virginal wife. Japanese women over the age of 26 most often have to rely on either hastily semi-arranged marriage to a friend of the family, or more frequently, marry a foreigner. Hey. And they are rarely aware of the stigma or don't care.
Oh man, if my girlfriend gets out of line, I'm getting me a 26-year-old Christmas cake.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. I want some Christmas cake.
Yeah,
like I said, man,
Christmas cake.
I'm all for some Christmas cake. Give me a sexy cougar Japanese woman Christmas cake who can like support me, sugar mama. Fuck yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
you better watch your P's and Q's, honey. I got options. I am one Amazon Prime delivery away from replacing you.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, all of the spam ones that I get are the ones offering, again, just because I find the translation hilarious, mommy services, as well as the ones that are height and cup size. And it's always something like height 130 centimeters, cup size H.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of IMDb, or not IMDb, yeah, it is IMDb. Bash.org never fails to have an apropos quote. Quote, girls are like internet domain names. The ones I like are already taken. Next person in chat. Well, you can always get one from a strange country.
Nice.
I think it would be hilarious if I did end up with a Japanese mail order bride. My grandfather served in the Navy, so he took leave in Japan when he was on a boat in Korea. And one of the stories that filtered down to me was how he told one of my dad's friends about playing alley commandos in like Tokyo or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they had brothels, right? So you go walk down the alley, you got brothels on your side, and they're trying to get you to come in, and
Mm-hmm.
they're giving you cigar or whatever, drink, trying to get you to pick a girl. And because they were so I think the way he described it was uptight. Is like, they were offended very easily. So like if you just like flicked an ash on the carpet or something, they'd kick you out. He's like, by the time you got to the end of the alley, you had a free drunk. Just walk to the next one, get that complimentary drink, and maybe puff on a stogie for a little bit. When they start getting too pushy, just flick your ash and be on your way to the next one.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's actually more wholesome than I would have thought from a sailor in a foreign land.
Watch, though, if Camel does get a Japanese bride, that's how Camel ends up accidentally having an inborn child.
I don't know if I would go Japanese, man. I'd want one of them jungle Asians, one that had
you want to go further south?
I want some chick who heard about how her mother survived the killing fields of Cambodia or something,
Mm-hmm.
He's looking for one of the Ho Chi Minh brides so that he can sit there and say, "Hey, look, I'm Native American. I hate the white man too."
Well, no, I just want one that's going to be so appreciative of coming to America that they'll never leave and do whatever I say.
Yeah, okay, good point.
Like I said, Laotian.
Laotian, Laotian, or fucking Filipino. Filipino are extremely common here in Chicago.
Laos is
we got a lot of Vietnamese.
Country that holds the record for having the longest sustained bombardment against it.
Yeah.
Because the country was bombarded for a ridiculous fucking time.
But yeah,
Let me
you know,
quickly
just
look it up again.
yeah, have that complete obedience at least until like the citizenship paperwork clears, you know, and then just start over.
She's got her green card, and now she doesn't need you anymore.
Yeah. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on those, hot Ukrainian girlfriends we're supposed to be getting for all that money we sent over there.
My God, they like said like, oh, who's gonna marry a Ukrainian girl? They even have fucking YouTube ads. Like, where's my Ukrainian bitch? Come on.
So, Laos has been bombed more than any other country on Earth. It had more than 2 million tons of bombs dropped on the country.
I shouldn't have been fucking around with this communists. I mean,
1964 to 1973. 9 fucking years of bombing.
Hey, we could have done worse.
Oh, I agree. I just find it hilarious that that is something that it has a record for.
Mm-hmm.
Assassin. We should have dropped that on France.
No, just
I think the Germans beat us to it when it comes to bombing that country.
Just break France out of the continent, strap some rockets onto the bottom, and launch.
Talking about all like the new conflicts, especially like Ukraine and Russia. Yeah, I loved some of the memes that were coming out from all of that. So like Russia invades Ukraine, North Korea invades South Korea, Germany invades Poland. Sorry, force of habit.
Nice.
Oh, I mean, you could say Poland, but I would have went with Belgium actually.
Mm-mm. Well, come on, every world war, every excuse, fucking Germany invades Poland. They did it for
but they always end up marching through Belgium on their way to France.
True.
I actually typed a joke into one of Badger's Twitch streams back in the day, and this is when I remember. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. He is actually German. The accent throws me off. Because he speaks English better than I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I typed a joke in the chat, and I said, life is sometimes like Belgium. You just have to march through it. And he got to the part where he said, life is sometimes like Belgium, and he read the rest. Like, nope, not reading the rest of that. Sorry.
Very nice. So
yeah, I realized after that, I was like, I probably shouldn't go hanging around Badger streams. He could actually get in trouble.
So I just noticed that we've been going for a bit over 2.25 hours. Do you guys want to go around the horn, give parting words, and then fuck off for the night?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
I'll say that I will not be, unfortunately, hosting next Monday until I get confirmation about going to third shift. It's back on, needing to be at work during stream time. So, sorry guys, but it's been a good 2 weeks. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I've thoroughly enjoyed the time off, but now it's time to put the nose back to the grindstone and get back to work.
Yep, it's been a lot of fun. The trip was a fucking blast.
Mm-hmm.
So, Camel, do you have any parting words?
Well, based off what we discussed here tonight, there is no reason for anybody for any man in America to be an incel. Just get a mail order.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Get some Christmas cake. I know you weebs are fucking obsessed with Japanese women. Just get some fucking Christmas cake. Just grow some balls.
I don't need to be called out like this on my own fucking show, Inquisitor.
I guess my final words would be, there are 8 billion people on this rock. Roughly half of them are female. If you can't go to somewhere where life is cheap and find a bride, I got nothing for you, man.
Yeah.
Nice. And I'll leave off with my standard of, if you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you. And with that, have a good night, all. The zoo is closed.
I'd let some Christmas cake devour me, if you know what I mean.
A bit of mutual devourment there, right?
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night, all.
Bye-bye.